Hello, I want to say a few words today about personal power and relationships. And this is part of our personal power series. And today I want to talk about the importance of personal power within our relationships so that we can have really empowered relationships and happy ones, hopefully, as well. So personal power is the power that we have within ourselves. And this power can be sensed, it can be felt, it can be impacted upon by external forces and our own feelings about ourselves as well. And so having personal power and being able to maintain personal power at a high level is quite a good idea, because it supports our personal growth and it supports our happiness. So everyone wants to be happy, don't they? So personal power and its maintenance is a very good idea, but not at the expense of other people. For instance, some people who do not have a very strong sense of self or their own personal power like to try and take power away from other people in various ways, and that could be through undermining the other person in some way and making them feel small, or it could be through saying certain things so that over time the other person becomes used to actually handing their power over to their partner, so that the power is in the hands of one partner, as it were. And people can try and take our personal power in all sorts of different ways. But when we come to the point in our personal growth when we become aware of what other people may be doing and the agenda behind that behaviour, it becomes much easier to maintain our own personal power at a high level, because we're not unconscious. We're conscious of what's happening. We have conscious awareness, and we're able to consciously maintain our own power levels through taking actions, through maintaining our personal development, or through doing whatever we need to do in order to lift our power level up to another level. So personal power and its maintenance is quite useful if we want to maintain a high frequency and to be happy and to be able to maintain our growth at an optimum level, because our power, our personal power, is what drives the train of our personal growth. But if we try and take that power from other people, it's not going to maintain our own power base so much as it would do if we built up our own personal power from within. So I wanted to focus and highlight today maintaining a strong power base within ourselves, which is personally generated, and this comes from our source connection primarily, and then can also be maintained through living our life in a way that supports our own personal power without detracting from other people's personal power in the process, because that's just not going to work long time. And often that sort of behaviour is going to rebound on us anyway. So we want to maintain our personal power base based on an authentic self, rather than trying to take power from other people in our relationships, which, as I say, doesn't work and can often rebound and have a negative effect. So in our relationships, it's a really good idea, if we want to have healthy relationships, to enter those relationships with a really strong personal power base, so that we feel empowered. We're going into our relationships in a really fully empowered way, and we don't feel the need to take power from other people at all, because we have our own personal power base to begin with. So it's quite a good idea, if we're thinking of going into a relationship, or we are in a relationship, or we're dating at the moment, or whatever, to focus on building this personal power which is based on integrity, so that when we go into a relationship, we're used to maintaining our own power base, and we don't, because we're in a relationship, automatically hand that power over to a partner because we're now in a relationship. So even if we're in a relationship or we're not, we still need to maintain that strong internal power base, so that we can have strong boundaries, so that we can maintain our integrity, which is our wholeness, and so that we can take care of ourselves in our relationships. And we can also recognise when someone else is trying to detract from our own power base through their behaviour or their words or whatever it is. So it's a really good idea when we're thinking about going into a relationship, or we are in one, to just have a look at our power base and to understand that that personal power, which is part of our being, needs to be maintained, preferably before we go into a relationship, so that we can identify when our own personal power is being drained, and when we are in situations which are potentially negative situations, which could be detracting from our own personal power base. So personal power and its maintenance is quite key in our personal development and our growth in general, because we need to have power in order to support our personal growth and to be able to take it forward, so that that power and our own personal growth can support our purpose for being here as well. So when we get used to being able to identify when our power base is being drained and when it's being built up, we can more than likely then take care of ourselves in our relationships, and we can identify those sorts of situations and people that are draining us, and the types of situations that are building up our power base. And a really healthy partner will want to build his partner up or her partner up. They won't want to drag them down and take their power from them. Because, as I said earlier, people who are dysfunctional in nature are more likely to want to take power from other people, because they feel quite weak in themselves and quite disempowered. So if we see our own personal empowerment as a tool to have in our safe relationship toolbox, then we're more likely to go into relationships that are likely to build our personal power, because we're not going to feel attracted to people in relationships that are detracting from our personal power, because we know that that's not healthy and it's not going to do us much good in the future. So our relationships, if they're to be healthy ones, need to be based on us being able to manage our personal power and to take appropriate action, and to be able to recognise partners who are more likely to be able to build us up and to support us, rather than detracting from our own power base. So as always, stay safe and happy. Bye bye.